She's drawn to your light, but despises what it reveals in her. This is the hidden paradox of attraction, when admiration turns into resentment and desire becomes competition. It's late. You're sitting there, replaying the last conversation in your head. She said she loves your strength, but somehow it felt like an accusation. Her tone didn't sound like admiration. It sounded like resentment. And you're wondering, why does she crave the very energy she seems to hate you for? She was drawn to your confidence, the calmness in your presence, the quiet certainty in your eyes. It made her feel safe at first. But soon, that same energy started to trigger something deeper in her. Not love, not hate. Something more complex. Envy mixed with insecurity. You became the mirror she didn't want to look into because your confidence reminded her of everything she suppresses in herself. Let me explain why.
In psychology, this dynamic is known as narcissistic mirroring, but not in the way you think. It doesn't mean she's narcissistic. It means she unconsciously projects parts of herself she hasn't healed onto you. Your confidence highlights her uncertainty. Your grounded presence exposes her inner chaos, and what she can't embody, she'll try to control. That's not love. That's psychological displacement. At first, she'll feed off your energy. She'll lean on your calm when her world feels unstable. You'll become her emotional anchor, her source of validation, peace, and direction. But the longer she drinks from that energy, the more dependent she becomes. And dependence breeds resentment. Because somewhere inside, she knows she's lost her center, and you've become it. That's when the shift happens. She starts to criticize the same traits she once adored. Why are you always so calm? You think you're better than everyone. I miss when you used to be more vulnerable. She's not angry at you. She's angry at what you represent. You're the proof that inner stability exists, and she can't control that. So instead of trying to rise to meet it, she'll pull it down to match her emotional level.
Here's the truth. When someone hasn't built internal peace, confidence feels like a threat, not an inspiration. Your certainty exposes their self-doubt. Your emotional control feels like emotional distance. And your self-assurance feels like superiority. It's not about you being too confident. It's about them being too uncertain. This isn't random. It's psychology. Think of it this way. Confidence emits a frequency. People who are stable tune into it. They respect it. They grow with it. But those who are chaotic, they hear it like static. It irritates them because it reminds them of their imbalance. So they'll test you. They'll provoke arguments. They'll challenge your calm, not to understand it, but to break it. Why? Because if they can shake your composure, they get relief. It means maybe you're not that unshakable after all.
Let me give you a real-world example. A man once told me about a woman he loved deeply. She was magnetic, emotional, passionate, but volatile. He was grounded, logical, steady. At first, she told him, "I love how stable you are. You make me feel safe." But over time, that turned into, "You're cold. You don't feel enough. You don't care the way I do." He started to doubt himself, thinking maybe his calm was the problem. So he began to over-explain, over-give, over-apologize. And that's when she truly lost attraction. Because the moment he gave up his center, the polarity collapsed. You see, what she was drawn to was never his availability. It was his mystery, his inner strength, his silence that didn't beg to be understood. But she couldn't sustain it, because that kind of energy demands reflection, not consumption. Here's what most men don't realize. You cannot heal her by dimming your light. You cannot make her love you more by becoming less of yourself. When you lower your energy to make others comfortable, you stop being masculine and start being manageable. And once you're manageable, you're no longer magnetic. She'll stop craving your energy because it's no longer the energy she fell for.
So what do? You hold your ground. You stop explaining your confidence. You stop apologizing for your emotional discipline. Understand this. A woman who truly values masculine strength will not try to dilute it. She'll rest in it. She'll rise with it. But a woman who resents it will try to dominate it, emotionally, verbally, psychologically. And that's when you must choose. To be understood or to remain powerful. Because not everyone can meet you at your level of peace. And that's not arrogance, that's awareness. You don't need to prove your worth through chaos. You don't need to convince anyone that your calmness has depth. It does. That's why it unsettles people who thrive on emotional turbulence. Your confidence isn't arrogance. It's control. Control over your impulses. Control over your reactions. Control over your energy. That's what makes you dangerous. Not because you hurt others, but because you can't be controlled. So when she craves your energy but resents your confidence, remember, you're not the problem. You're the mirror. And not everyone is ready to see their reflection. Keep your frame. Keep your calm. Let them love you or let them leave, but never let them unmake the man you've become. Because in a world addicted to noise, your silence is power. And that's exactly what they crave and fear the most.